This is the Casey Reynolds Show on KFQD. To join the conversation, dial 522-0750. Outside of Anchorage, toll free, 888-9090-750. And now, here's Casey Reynolds.
All right, welcome back to the Casey Reynolds Radio Show. You know what? It's summertime. That means it's time to get out, to walk around. Get off your butt. You can get out. You can walk around. You can do some stuff. And it also means it's summertime, which means that we have our visitors in town, which means a lot of fun activities kick up, just like the one that our guest, Rick Goodfellow, offers with the Ghost Tours of Anchorage.
Good morning, Casey.
I love what you guys do with the Ghost Tours of Anchorage. That has got to be a fun summer job to have.
Well, I enjoy it very much, and I have reason to think that a lot of people who come on the tour have a good time, too.
Now, tell us what Ghost Tours of Anchorage, which is now, your third season, right?
That's right.
So first of all, how did you come up with the idea of doing Ghost Tours of Anchorage? What was the spawning of the idea?
To be honest with you, I was inspired by the similar event in Victoria, British Columbia. Mm-hmm. We were on vacation, and I discovered there was such a thing as a ghost tour.
Oh.
And I thought, why doesn't somebody do this in Anchorage? It's such a wonderful way to get to know a town.
Yeah.
And I came back and I started talking to people in the visitor industry here. And I said that, and they say, oh, that's a very good idea. Now, go away because we can't possibly do it. So I kept thinking, if it's such a good idea, maybe I should do it.
Yeah.
And after that...
well, that's how all great entrepreneurial ideas start, is you have the idea that everyone thinks is a great idea, but nobody else is really willing to put the work into. And then it blows up, right?
It worked for me. It worked for me.
Well. And what I love about the ghost tours, and I'll ask you to give sort of an overview of what you guys do, but I love the fact, because I love history, and I love watching what as I was saying, what History Channel used to be. Now History Channel is more like reality shows and whatnot. So I've sort of gone on to Nat Geo and some of these other channels. But I love watching the history and learning about history, and particularly history of Anchorage, because I find history of Anchorage very fascinating, but there's not a lot of venues where we really get the richness of the people that founded Anchorage. Anchorage is only a little over 100 years old. So
not even that.
Yeah. Well, when we were incorporated in...
Actually, we're incorporated until 1921.
Yeah, right. But, of course, the ship camp... or the
1915.
The Ship Creek camp started a little before that. So... We have a history that doesn't go far back, but it is rich. A lot of people don't understand a lot of the things. I was talking to somebody the other day about, they're talking about power generation, and I mentioned the boat they used to set right off the shore here in Anchorage and was the power generation plant for the city. Mm-hmm. And I had no idea, you can't do that. I said, yeah, well, for a long time, that's how the city got their power. Well, I had no idea. So I love this, and that's what I love about the ghost tours. It's an excellent way to talk about Anchorage history through a fun mechanism of ghosts, because when you tell a ghost story, you have to provide context, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to, and who the characters were and who they started out being. So give me an idea, when you do the ghost tours, what, how does it work? When can people go on and everything? And you can get more information, obviously, at ghosttoursofAnchorage.com, right?
Right.
So explain to me how the ghost tours work.
We meet at 7:30, actually, hopefully a little before. We leave promptly at 7:30, and we go for a walk through downtown.
Which is beautiful this time of year.
It is indeed. This would be beautiful tonight. We stop at various places where various historic events happened, and where I discovered that there are ghosts, or for the cynics out there, I would say ghost stories. And I tell what happened, the context, and what haunts are said to be there.
Now, it's Alaska. And we love ourselves some fishing in Alaska. Do you have a ghost fish story? Because we love fish stories, which can be, they can grow in magnitude over time. And we love the ghost stories, which can probably do the same. Yeah, you need to be on the lookout for the nexus of where those things meet of a ghost fish story. That would be the nexus of Alaska.
You are inspiring me this morning, Casey. I don't have a fish ghost or a ghost fish.
I'm telling you, that's where it would be. But you do. And last time you heard, we had John, I think last year, about the same time. You do have some fun stories that I myself have checked out. Now, give me the story about at the Captain Cook. There's a ghost in one of the bathrooms at the Captain Cook.
Ladies' room downstairs. A woman blew her brains out in 1972, and she continues to haunt the stall in which she did this. And because there have been so many incidents pertaining to her defending her privacy in that stall, the captain cook has kept that stall locked ever since 1972.
Locked up. You can't even get into it.
And you didn't believe me, but you went and checked it out.
No, it's not that I didn't believe you, but as I am prone to do, I may have been at an event at the Captain Cook, which graduated, as many events do, to the after event at the Captain Cook in one of the fabulous drinking establishments they might have at the Captain Cook. And so I was there with several other people, some of whom may have been in elected office. I'm not going to say who they were, but they may be respected officials in Alaska. And so I got to telling them about the story because I think I just had you on not long before that. And I was like, yeah, there's a haunted stall down there. And so a group of about 10 or 12 of us, after having a few adult beverages, decided we were going to go to there. No, there's no way. This is an absolute fish story. No way that's true. And so we go marching down, get in the elevator, start marching over, and we send a girl in to make sure there are no ladies, because it's not on the main floor restaurant. It's down below, so it not necessarily super high traffic. And so we send a young woman in to make sure that there's no ladies in there that we're going to offend. And then we all go marching in and to check out whether. And sure enough, there's a stall down at the end locked up, and looks like, frankly, it's been had a rough history.
Oh yeah,
but locked up, so you can't get in from the outside. I mean, we had to have, and as of course, having had a few beverages, had to have somebody slide underneath to check out the inside, because if there was a ghost there. Well, we
want to know.
Well, we were going to give it the business. We were going to let it know that this is our hotel, not yours. And so they went in, and sure enough, you could get in from the inside. You could get out. You could unlock it and get out, but from the outside, you couldn't get in. And so, sure enough, there's a locked up. And there's no reason for it to be that way other than for there being a ghost there, right?
That's the reason.
Why would the management, the hotel Captain Cook, lock up a one stall of the restroom so nobody could get in?
Exactly the reason I told you.
And interestingly enough, when we came out of this particular lady's room, there may have been some security guys present who weren't as keen on the story as didn't think the story was as funny as we did at the time. When a couple of guys come out of a woman's restroom at a hotel, funny story. That doesn't work as well on them as you might think.
Well, security guys are that way.
Yeah, they tend to be that way. But so I can verify that story 100% true. At least the Captain Cook must think so, because they've taken appropriate responsibility to make sure nobody's hurt by this particular ghost, right?
All the way through the tour, I make a point of giving verbal footnotes, and I encourage people to check it out. I'm glad you did.
Oh, let me tell you something. You have to. Now, I want to get some more into these, and it's ghosttoursofAnchorage.com, so people can check out the website. You're also on Facebook, because nothing's real unless it's on Facebook these days, right?
That's absolutely so.
So you can check out Ghost Tours on Facebook. If you like to, I think it would be great for kids, because it does teach a little bit of history, which we'll get into when we come back. A little bit of the history of Anchorage. It's also fun, teaches you a little bit about the city you live in. And frankly, it's just a fun activity to go down to for the night. A beautiful summer evening, a fun way to walk around and experience Anchorage. So people, your tours leave at 7:30 every night, promptly. You get off on the walking tour around Anchorage and give them the full spiel, right? Now, when we come back, there's a couple of stories we've had in the news. The legislators want to move into a building.
Indeed.
Which apparently may have some sordid history, which then makes it appropriate the legislature wants to move into it, as well as some other historical footnotes that I find interesting. We'll be back with Rick Goodfellow from the Ghost Tours of Anchorage on the Casey Reynolds Radio Show here on FM 103.7 AM 750 KFQD.
The Casey Reynolds Show.
Obviously, good minds think alike.
On Alaska's Place to Talk, KFQD.